on.
Oh. Alright, so we're working on the Allis Chalmers today, and what we got going on is this track is too tight. We've got to loosen it up. And the reason it's too tight is because there's bolts back here by the drive sprockets that got broke off. And I replaced those, and when I did, I put a hydraulic jack in here and I pushed everything forward to line the bolts up. But when I got it done, the track's too tight. It's screeching, it's popping, it's making some bad noises. So today we're gonna work on getting this loosened up. To loosen it, we have a big bolt set right in here. You back it out, it tightens the track, you turn it in, and it's all right in here. But I can't get anything big enough on it to loosen it up. So we're gonna take the blade off the dozer. Means we've got 2 bolts on each side here. Drop the hydraulic rams off, we'll lean them against the machine, we'll back it up. And a little bit of history on the old dozer. My dad bought this years ago, and he was running it down here one day, and the old 2-stroke diesel ran away with him. And he parked it, pulled the engine out. He ended up picking up an engine with some pretty low hours on it and started putting it in, and he never finished it. So I came along later on when he was incapable of doing it, and I finished it up and got it running. It's been serviced, everything's been done on it. It runs really good, but we just got to get this track loosened up because I'm going to tear it up if I operate it the way it is. So that's our goal today. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and we're just going to kind of set things down and get to work. So watch and like, subscribe, and we'll see you around. Alright, we got all the bolts out of it. We're going to fire everything up and see if we can use the hydraulics to lower this blade off of the machine. We're going to back it up and see if we can get to where we can loosen this track up a little bit. So let's get going and see what happens. Sweet, we got it. Track is loosened up. Everything's back together. We're ready to go push some brush with it. See how it does, right? Good deal. Alright guys, so the way this operates, we have a high and a low here. So you've got your reverse, and then you've got first, second, and then third, and fourth. But this makes it high and low, so when you switch it between high and low, all of your gears over here change to high or they change to low. You have your left clutch, your left brake, So if you pull this clutch and you push that brake, you're gonna turn to the left. If you pull this clutch and you push that brake, you turn to the right. This is your main clutch drive right here. You pull this back, it engages the engine to the transmission. So you start moving. You push it forward, you stop. When you pull this back, it raises the blade. You push it forward, it lowers it. If you push it forward and lock it, the blade floats. So you can back drag, or if you push it forward going forward, you're gonna just dig in and it's not gonna do very good. And then you got your key switch over here, you turn it on, it does the start. To kill it, you turn the key off, and then you pull that out and it kills the injectors. It's pretty simple, but a handful at the same time. So if anyone's kind of curious how you operate one, that's pretty much it. A lot of times while I'm running the machine, rather than braking and clutching at the same time, I will just pull the clutch back a little bit, like so, and it'll fade that way if I don't want to turn really fast. If I need to turn fast, I'll pull that back and I'll push on the brake, and it turns faster that way. Yeah, it's kind of a handful. You're constantly moving these, doing all kinds of stuff at the same time. The throttle kind of springs back, so I'm constantly having to keep bumping it up, but for the most part it does pretty good. So that's basically how you operate it. It's your steering's here, and on your brakes you got your left and right brakes, and it stops each track. So if you need to stop it, and I've had situations where a tree pushed me back in the seat and I couldn't reach the clutch lever, so I was folded back in the seat. I was getting pushed off the dozer, so I reached up and I pushed both brakes in as hard as I could, and it stalled the engine. So sometimes you just kind of gotta compensate, but it's not too bad. It's fun to run. It's obviously, I'm not good at it, but I try. So hope you liked the video. Well, we had to push some brush up right there because our cows was jumping over that log and getting out, and we didn't want it. We shut the dozer down because this ram is pouring oil out of it everywhere, and really all it is it's got a rope packing up here in the top, and we just need to tighten it, but we don't have the tools here to do it. So they're old, they do that a lot, especially if they've sat for a while. Really all we gotta do is just tighten them up a little bit. Need to run through and give her a little bit of grease, but we got the track loosened up, everything's sounding good. It looks like it's gonna be ready to go, so we're gonna use it.